Hello YouTube. Let me just start that I've been filming all day, and I've been working on spokes all day long. And two things about the film. I'm not going to let you watch that film. I'm going to trash it all because it was all a waste of time. And I mean, that was all day. You don't get to watch it, and I'm not going to let you watch it. So I'm starting all over. It's 11 o'clock at night, and I've got a new plan, and I will not tell you about the previous plan. It is kind of highlighted, but believe me, that does not work. So we're going to start. This is a piece of brass I've cut. I've milled it on two edges, and I got it straight. And what I'm going to do now is create the relief angle using, again, you've seen this before, the Craftsman router bit. And I'm going to create the relief angle or the draft angle that I learned about here just a few days ago. All right, so my is clear. Kind of looking this over, since I can't make a full cut, what I have noticed is that what I will be doing is I'm going to continue to drop the head until I get the angle that I want. And at that point, I'll flip it over and create the angle on the other side. All right, so here we go. Okay, that is going to work. I got a little cleanup to do here. Let's take a look here what we got. I got a little edge here that I can clean up with the buffer. There you go. All right. There's cross section there. Alright, so now I will be dividing this into three pieces for each spoke. And I'll take you over to the workbench and tell you what I'm going to do with each one of these spokes. Okay, I've already drawn the picture here. I'm going to put a... I'm going to put a 60-degree point here and here. On three sides of this, and then what I will be doing is I'm just going to solder those three in a spoke arrangement. So that's my next step. Anyway, you know, it's late and I've been doing this all day, but after I rethought it, for some reason I just think this is going to go together so well. It'll be unbelievable. Anyways, so let me get set up to do the cuts, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so let me show you the plan here. Just using this guide here, we'll try to get a rough estimate of what we're going to need here. You know, 0.81. So I've got a piece of brass here that is 3.4 So I'm going to go ahead and cut these at 1.1. You know, maybe one will be a little bit longer, or maybe the saw marks will take out that difference. Either way, I'm going to cut them at 1.1, and then I'll come back and work on the 60-degree angles. Okay, since I'm going to cut these on the flat back, I was going to mark the flat, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go here 1.1 and mark across the top here. And if I cut to the inside of these lines, and I'm just going to freehand this. I'm just going to freehand this on the bandsaw. So let's see what I got left here. Be roughly correct. Good enough for my work anyways. Alright, so go over to the bandsaw and we'll freehand these 3 spokes. Okay, here. Tell me that doesn't look set up. The table here, the flip over table that I made. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do some cutting now. That center spoke ended up shorter than the other ones. Let's take a look. I hope we're still in the game. Okay, a little bit of change of plan here. I'm going to plunge cut a 3/4 inch semicircle in the edge of this thing, and I need a 5-degree taper when I get finished. So I'm going to do what's called totally faking it. Okay, so I have it pretty much set up. I'm going to back it up a little bit, and I'm sticking it out. I'm sticking this piece of brass out. I'm going to do it about 1/4 inch, and I've got this little bitty, it is in focus, kids, piece of wood right there to create my necessary 5-degree angle, or whatever degree angle I need here. So weird, you're dealing with metal, I can't even get microscopic stuff in place. Okay, so I'm going to set this out about 1/4 inch and let it sit at that tilt. Oop. Well, I do know that I want to get the piece of wood. This is going to be too much angle, I can already tell. Let's see here. But it's going to look better than, say, not having the angle. I don't even know how necessary this is, but this is what I'm going to do. Okay. Oop. Oh, just get everything set up and drop it all. Get the little piece of wood in there. I gotta open the jaws so I can get my finger in there. Okay, I think get it set first. Oh. Okay. So do this 3 times, and then they will affix themselves to the, I was going to put them underneath the hub, but what I'm going to do now is attach them to the side of the 3/4 inch hub. So go ahead and do this 3 times. Hopefully I remember to do it only once on each side, because if I do it twice on each side, I'll have a problem. But by doing it this way, I will not have the other problem that I had described earlier about having a hole in the center. So I'm going to double check. I'd already set this up once, and if I need to fine tune when I'm coming down, I'll be able to tell, because when it hits the 2 edges. Okay, here we go. take this out. Let's see how it looks. You know, it's not perfect, but I'm sorry if it's not in focus. I only got 2 hands, and the solder will fill in the gap there. It's a little less than 3/4 because it's 3/4 on the outside, not after you taper it. That's what my issue is. But still, I think the taper is better than not, because there would be a gap on the front. So we got 2 more to do. I'm going to go ahead and extend these lines on my my drawing here to the other side of the hub. And I'm just going to do that so I can kind of see where everything's going to go. Okay. So there's the... Okay, so due to the way I'm going to be laying this out, I'll be actually cutting this taper inverted. I'm going to start by, I just got a new piece of this brass, and I'm going to go ahead and true up this edge and the other edge. Okay, I've already got this set to the 5 degrees. Like I said, I'm going to do it reverse so it'll cone in, and I think that's the best way to do it so I can still get a hold of it when I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it out a little bit so I have plenty of room. Okay, and let me get some measurements here. My recollection is that, yeah, 0.41 was the thickness of the ring. All right, so I'm going to go to 0.45 just so it'll be sticking out a little bit. I can always clean that up later. All right, so that's going to be the deepest part of the taper, and like I said, I'll be tapering in. So I'm going to be locking the carriage here, and I'm going to be working specifically with the taper here and the cross slide. All right, do a little sanding here. I typically do that in reverse. Okay, so we'll go take this over to the bench, and we'll see how this all fits together. Okay, we're just going to see how this all dry fits together. Okay, I've got the reverse taper there. And wow, that's looking like that's fitting pretty good. Okay. And the last spoke is there. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, so the next operation is to go ahead and solder these all together. I'll get the soldering gun together, and I'll need to go ahead and transfer my marks here so these all come out together. All right, I'll be back with you all in just a moment. Okay, so in this case what I've done was I've transferred the angles to this aluminum plate, which I'm going to solder on. So I'm going to flux these parts up, and then I'll set them back up, and then we'll solder them together, and everything will be fine. I gotta tell you, this has to go better than the last process that y'all didn't get to see. Has to. This should be a pretty easy soldering job. I don't know if you can see this, but I got the secondary line on the side just to make sure I've got everything going to the right place. Then I have the center lines as well. Okay, this is gonna go great, right guys? The main thing is just don't stick the starter in there and move things. All right. I didn't bang it around and move it all over the place. All right, we'll let that cool for a little bit and we'll be back. Okay, here's the finished product. Wow, man, I'm getting exhausted right now. It's late. But that's actually pretty close to what I'm thinking. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll clean the back up, machine it, get it flat, very slowly, not to knock any spokes off. I'm actually going to machine the front a little bit too, so it won't have such a radical or radial curve, but it will have a flat on it. Probably not a whole lot, but I'll be taking some off. Then the next operation, I can actually put the 5-degree taper on here and get this checked up, and I can create the 5-degree outside taper with the lathe. It'll actually be a pretty easy operation as long as I don't bang these spokes off. And another thing is neat is that when I do that, it will be centered. So pretty excited about that. I just don't think I can finish it tonight. It's getting late, and I know this video is going to require an edit. I can't just post it because I just know I can't. Anyways, I really wanted to get some, I wanted to get casting done tonight, but I think I'll be ready to cast tomorrow after just an hour or so. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll conclude this video, and then maybe I can get it edited tonight and posted. But then tomorrow we'll be doing the, tomorrow we'll be fitting these together and slicing that off. And hopefully this thing will come out of that sand mold beautifully. And then when it comes out beautifully, like we all know it will, we'll get a chance to pour some brass, and then hopefully that will come out looking exactly like this, or close enough to it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe.